Hey, this is Tom Jacobs from tdjacobs.com and also healingsuicide.com. I'm an evolutionary astrologer and a channel and an energy worker and also a psychic medium. And I've been doing some videos recently and I'm including this link to these 22 channeled energy work meditations that are a free download through tdjacobs.com. I'll put the link in the description of the video. Um, and it's important to read what's on the page when you get there. It might seem like a lot of info, but it's 22 20-minute meditations, and there should be, or in many people there can be, quite noticeable effects. Even sometimes surprising people at how deep the energy in those MP3 go when they take it into your body, how deep it goes. So anyway, so I encourage you to check those out. You can, when you go to the page on my site, you can listen to one. There are 22 separate links, hyperlinks. When you click on one, a player will open and you can listen and check it out before you bother downloading. Any one of those, you can right click to download, save as, right, save file as. But also you can, above those 22 links, is a place to download all 22 at once. So anyway, I want you to try these. I'm doing less energy work in my practice overall for a bunch of reasons, but so I want to make sure that you still have access to the vibrations of these beings that I often channel. Ascended Master Jehudi, also known as Hermes, Thoth, Merlin, Saint Germain, and then Archangel Metatron, who's a very intense figure. Jehudi's a teacher Hermes figure, teacher, translator, scribe, mediator, who will teach us anything. Lecture is often his style, and he has that tricksterish Hermes-like quality of kind of leading you into a topic and then surprising you with the truth. And oh, that's interesting. He does it all the time. Metatron's energy is super intense, and it's meant to calibrate things that are not loving and not self-respecting out of your field. So fear, guilt, shame, all kinds of unhappy energies. So anyway, combining them, Metatron's energy comes through my voice, and you opt to bring it in when you listen, and then Jehudi is talking at you the whole time. Okay, so anyway, I encourage you to do that, but I want to do this video. What if you do them and you have a weird reaction or it doesn't work? So that's what this video is about. And I talked to a new client yesterday, who said when I just got a sense maybe it would be helpful for her to clear some energies when we tuned in and I listened to her story and looked at her chart. And she said, yeah, I did. I've listened to the first 5, but I'm having this reaction like I'm allergic. My skin is having this reaction. So like as if a rash, but I'm assuming it's energetic. So what I said to her is what I'm going to explain to you, but in more detail. So if you have a reaction, stop doing it and go back to my site on the homepage, tdjacobs.com, and look for the grounding meditation. So all these little pictures on my site with different labels. One is a forest path, so like a green trail, a little path through a green forest, and it says grounding meditation. Download that free 13-minute MP3 because that one is the basis of all the grounding and meditations that I do, but that one isn't energy work. That one isn't intense. Those 22 20-minute things are energy work, and they aim to stir things deep within you so you can become calibrated and clear. So if you are having a problem with those, or you do them and you're not sure how to connect or not sure what's going on, backtrack. Start with the original thing and that 13-minute MP3. I want you to have the experience of getting into your body as much as you can, being willing to sense what's going on in your body, and if you have certain injuries or have been abused in certain ways, or if you have had trauma of any kind, like I said, so injuries, abuse or criticism, or trauma of any kind. Okay, those are the grounds. It would be harder for some parts of you to be willing to get in your body. So go back and try the grounding meditation. That's the first kind of thing to play with. And also willingness. Decide every day for a few weeks, I'm willing to get in my body. I'm willing to deal with the emotions I might be storing in my body. In other words, willingness is a key component, and it is actually an assertion of divine power. So let's say that I'm talking to somebody who can see that I need help, but I feel defensive. That person might be saying, I can think of 10 different things that I or some other people might be able to do for you, or you might be able to do for yourself. But if I'm defensive, that person can't get through, or in the best ideas even aren't going to get through to me. So that's the idea here. You might say, I want to do some energy work meditations. I want to clear this. I want to heal this. I want to, get rid of that crap and overcome that situation. And I want to be who I am, and I want to be in my body. But if parts of you have been deeply hurt, or if parts of you have regret or guilt or shame or embarrassment, those parts, like self-judgment for anything, choice you made, something that happened to you and part of you said, I should have been smarter, shouldn't have let that happen. Could be anything. Those parts would be defensive. So if you, in real time, assert every day, I am willing to open up. I am willing to allow myself to release these energies. I'm willing to explore these energy work meditations. You do that for a while, and maybe it's a couple days and you notice yourself relaxing. Maybe it's 3 or 4 months. It really depends on the depth of stored memory and emotion, and therefore the strength of defensiveness. And I want to be really clear about this. This is the most important point of all of this. Refuse to judge if you're not open. Refuse to be down on yourself or think something's wrong with you. There isn't. You have been shaped by real world experience over many lifetimes, including this one. You might even be defensive about something that hasn't happened to you in this life because the impact of it in some other life is so strong, it carries through your unconscious and you're feeling it. So don't judge any of that. And that's why I just wanted to do this video to give you a sense of how to think about that. Now, other examples, like some people who have sexual abuse or physical abuse from when they're children, they'll have these super strong, overcompensating children parts or inner children who are protective and open and not clear. And I've learned over the years when I ask permission of a client to do energy work and I go in, there's a certain kind of no. There's a certain kind of, I'm not going to let you in. There's a certain kind of frequency with that where I can tell once I interface with somebody's field and attempt to offer something loving in a gentle way where that part of them isn't open. So it's like, and I'll say to the person, have you experienced sexual abuse when you were a child? And the person will say yes. One time it happened where the person said, it was one of my parents or something, it was my parents or one of my parents. But that energy was in her field. So, but all the other times I've asked that, it turns out there's some kind of physical or sexual abuse. So be patient with yourself and be gentle and understanding that if you have received treatment that is so painful, of course you don't want to open. Of course that part of you wouldn't be willing to feel vulnerable. And then you here in 2020 could say, or whatever year it is when you happen to see this video, oh no, but Jehudi and Metatron are helpful beings, and Tom, this channel says they'll help us, and I want to give it a try. But if parts of you don't feel safe, they're not going to open. So be gentle, be kind, be patient, and work on asserting willingness. I'm willing to get into these things and let them go. I'm willing to overcome that history. I'm willing to see I'm not what has happened to me. Okay, so that's like part one. Part two is, let's say that this has come up in other people's situation where they have some old, historical physical injury. Like one woman had a skiing accident and had broken her tailbone. And even now, I don't know if it was 20 or 30 years later, she was still not really able to breathe energy through the root. There's an opening was needed. So I suggested to her, we're doing live energy work calls, breathe the energy in through your feet. And that helps somewhat. So I also want to point out, sometimes with injury, without abuse or inner children being protective, sometimes those physical things can happen too. And the third paragraph is, a lot of us have gotten up into our heads and let our linear logical selves, our personalities, our egoic mind, part of the personality, take over. And what mind does is try to protect us from making errors and miscalculations because it wants to help us avoid pain. It's bent on not making mistakes. And so when we have, for example, self-judgment, I want to come back to that idea now. We're independent of the kind of trauma and abuse idea from the first part. Um, let's say that you've experienced something really painful or something that cost a lot of money or seems to have wasted a lot of time or something, whether it's about people or money or health or opportunities or whatever. Moving across the country for a job that was terrible or for a relationship that didn't work out. Those kinds of things, can be really hard. Um, if you judge yourself, you kind of feed that energy of the mind, and your energy will move up. So parts of you will not want to be in your body, because then you'd have to feel that judgment or that sense of, I don't like myself. So if you relate to that, then try this. I'm willing to let myself be a work in progress. I'm willing to see myself always learning as I go. From the soul's point of view, from your guide's point of view, from the ascended master, the archangel's point of view, there are no mistakes. There are experiences, that they're choices, and the choices have results, and we learn through dealing with the ramifications or results of our choices. So the soul's point of power, the thing of it that creates power, is asserting free will, essentially given the best knowledge and the best ability that we have in a given moment, making the choices that seem right. Then dealing with the consequences. And the soul's power is actually acceptance, compassion, and love. So if you can bring acceptance, compassion, self-like, self-respect to those memories, then that can help you be more willing to be in your body. So I just covered 3 different kind of categories, but there could be anything. There could be anything that might have you not being in your body or being willing to feel what's going on in your body. So I encourage you to play with those 22 days meditations, those 22 channel meditations. I did them over 22 days and recorded them in October of 2014, I guess. I was talking to a guy last week who'd been using them, and he said, but you did this in 2014. I'm doing them in 2020, and they're very powerful. And he was surprised after doing a lot of different meditative things. He was surprised at how this vibration could affect and get down into him and start to shift things. And yeah, the energy it's kind of like a bookmark to the being's consciousnesses. On the MP3, they're combined, but basically it's like 2 bookmarks interwoven around each other in my voice. And if you let yourself be affected, like if you decide I'm willing to let myself be affected by the energy in the channel's voice, the energy in Tom's voice on this recording, then you can explore relaxing and letting that energy in. So again, I'm doing less energy work in sessions. If you really need it, I might be able to do it, but just things in my life and my psyche and my inner and outer world have been changing over the last couple of years, and I realized that, and also my voice, between all the teaching and all the readings and all the sound bites and everything that I do, I'm just needing to kind of learn how to chill out a little bit, and that's kind of the first phase. So those 22 days or 22 channel meditations are free for all. I want you to get used to connecting with those beings, and then if you call me for work, you're primed a little bit. You're already connected to the beings I channel and work with. And if you do those meditations, like there's nothing here, well, then you know that maybe I'm not a practitioner for you. If it doesn't jive with you, it doesn't vibrate as resonant with you. But anyway, you can kind of get yourself in the club a little bit with those MP3s, and then essentially you might be more open to receiving the guidance that I offer. So anyway, these free meditations, spread the word about the meditations too. Tell everybody you know. Post the link to the free download on Facebook and other social media, Twitter, whatever. Like I want as many people as may benefit, or as many people are as open to playing with these, to experience these vibrations. And what ends up happening is, with repeated use, you get a little bit taken away or a little bit vibrated away a little bit more. And then let's say you don't do it for a week, and then you do another one, and it's a little bit more. Over time, you kind of get that energy, kind of that book. You are able to hold that bookmark. You know how to find that frequency. Actually, the last thing in this video, somebody else who's been playing with them wrote me and said, I did all 22. Sounds like she did them in order. What next? So, and what I said to her is, a lot of people do them on shuffle or over and over again on rotation. And I also offer a lot of other channeled audio. So those are 22 20-minute MP3s. On my site, there's one MP3 that's called Energy and Emotion Clearing Event. That's a place to go next. That's 90 minutes and allows you to go deeper and deeper. And kind of like, if you know you might want to invest in that if you know you like the vibration of those 22 meditations. And then there are 3 transforming MP3s that kind of follow that. Transforming self-doubt, depression and anxiety, and transforming the effects of abuse. So those 3. The effects of abuse, very important one. And then there's a 2.5-hour one that's called Consciousness Upgrade Clinic. It's 2.5 hours. So these 90-minute ones you would listen to in one sitting. And I wouldn't do them every day. I've had one client who did a bunch of them and noticed a lot of Pisces, man, who did a lot of transformation with those. And he took to it really well. But moderate yourself. Don't just say, well, if I'm quarantined, I have 24 hours in a day. I'll just put them on a loop. It might be, if you're affected deeply, you might want to moderate it. But anyway, those 90-minute ones you would listen to in a sitting, and then that 2.5-hour one also in one sitting. So it's kind of an investment. And the Consciousness Upgrade Clinic is unique in that Jehudi teaches, in the course of this whole energy clearing meditation thing, he also teaches the form of fragment retrieval that is basically the equivalent or the home study version, the DIY version of soul retrieval that you might appeal to a shamanic practitioner to do. So basically, Jehudi on the MP3 teaches you how to call back fragments and how to integrate them. And through the power of willfulness, you making the choice, it happens. So those are places to go next with if you're curious what to do after the 22 days. But honestly, a lot of people use the 22 days over and over again. So it's not weird if you don't get another one from me and you just say, yeah, I'll just start in a month or 2 or a couple of weeks, I'll start them over again. Anyway, so I hope that information is helpful. Be gentle and kind with this process, because your conscious self may not realize all the time that it's kind of functioning in response to and on top of the foundation of your energy field. And as you listen to such energy work meditations, you may be changed. That's the point of channel material, is to alter you. And this is not just channeled audio, it's with the energy work included if you take that in. So anyway, be gentle with yourself and don't judge yourself if it's not smooth at first. What you don't see in all the work that I do and all the channeling that I do is that it took me, I want to say 4.5 years to really make progress with root chakra issues when I started all this work with the Ascended Master. He basically, I was gifted a tiger iron piece, and then I lost it, and I was freaking out because I was getting attached to it. This was before I was programming the stones, and it was helping me ground and get my lower 3 chakras. And as I was learning all the stuff that eventually had me programming crystals for healing purposes, such as tiger iron, and then I was gifted another one, and that was the one that I had for about 4 years. And Jehudi was like, you got to deal with your mommy and daddy crap. And I was like, no, I don't want to. Like root chakra family issues. It was like, you got to deal with your religion crap. And I was like, no, I don't want to. He was like, you got to deal with your God crap. I was like, I don't want. You got to deal with the society crap. You got to deal with the relationship crap. You got to deal with the what. And I was like, I don't want. Anyway, it took me 4 years because I resisted. Well, I think 4.5 years maybe, because I was really stubborn. That's why I'm saying to you, choose to be willing, and you can start the ball rolling a little quicker. So I just want you to not judge yourself if you feel resistant, or if your brain says, yeah, I want to do this, and then parts of you resist. It's normal. I'm actually the poster child for resisting growth, even though that I kind of offer these tools. So anyway, check out what I'm up to at tdjacobs.com. And if during the quarantine you're having a hard time dealing with emotions, also go to healingsuicide.com and take care of yourself.